Hey, leading the North leaders, leading the North attendees, leading the North conference members, leading the North. All of you guys and gals. We all hung out together. Remember, we had a good time. Say, Ian, you're not in the break room anymore. No, I'm in the studio. Isn't that a beautiful picture there of Alberta? A little bit further south than you, but that's a beautiful picture right there. I know it's got green grass on the ground, obviously taken in the spring. Leave me alone. Hey, we're coming up on 10 days or so since we all left each other. Hopefully you took in some of the information from last week. We're going to continue this discussion of being an agent of change. Now for the next 3 weeks, we're going to unpack each one of those competencies that I talked about to some degree. Today we're talking about being an agent of change, an individual who understands how to change things and exert influence by building trusting relationships. They understand and demonstrate the capacity to influence change by building trusting relationships. Practically, what does that mean? Well, I gave you a tip, and I'm going to review it today. Practically, that means this. Make a list of 3 people of influence, not of prominence, in your community or within your organization that you need to get on side to help you get done what you want to get done. You could also call this being a consensus builder or collaborating. I'm going to call it building trusting relationships, making a meaningful connection with one human being. So I'm going to make that list of the people. Now it could be 3, it could be 5, whatever, but let's just say 3 to 5 people that have significant influence on what I want to get done or on what we want to get done. So I list them, I make a list. Then I'm going to take that list and I'm going to color code them based on how they either react to what I want to do, or how I think they're going to react, or how well they know me or what we want to do. I'm going to color code them. Red, they don't know what we're trying to do, or they're against what we're trying to do. Red. Yellow, they kind of are aware of it, but are indifferent, non-committal, don't have a dog in the fight, or not aware that they have a dog in the fight. They're yellow. Green, they're on board. They may not be a champion, but they're on board. Now, I'm going to set out to meet with these people. I'm going to set out to meet with them. I'm going to set out to sit down and talk with them and have what I call a chat with them. How am I going to do that? Well, if I know them personally, I'm just going to say, I'd like to have a cup of coffee. If I don't know them personally, I'm then going to make a list of who do I know that knows them. Now, this is an intentional strategy. You could also call this a relational marketing strategy. You could call it that, or an attitudinal shift strategy. I've called it both of those things. So, I make a list of the people of influence. If I don't know them directly, then I make a list of who do I know that knows them that can introduce me to them so that we can go and have this chat. Now, when we go and have this chat, I'm going to think of a couple of things first. I'm going to think of what kind of a listener or communicator are they. Now, if I know them personally, I can get some insight. If I don't, then I ask my person who I know that knows them. Are they a fact-based communicator? Are they an emotion-based communicator? Are they a value-based communicator? Are they a belief-based communicator? Fact-based, linear thinkers, speak in numbers and the like. Emotion-based, whatever they feel right now, that's what you're getting. Value-based, they've set up a unique set of values. Doesn't mean religion, a unique set of values, and that's how they filter everything through. Belief-based, this is the telltale sign of the belief-based communicator. I believe, I believe, I believe. Now, why is that important? Because before I sit down and have a chat to try to build a trusting relationship with you, it probably helps me if I better understand how you communicate. It's common sense. Then we sit down to have the chat. Now, I call it the chat because it is a discovery technique to help me better understand you. As it indicates in your handout that I have there on the site, the chat involves you listening 80%, talking 20%. The chat involves you asking open-ended questions to better understand what they're about. Yeah, but I'm trying to get them on side with what I want to do. The first step in getting somebody on side in today's day and age with what you want to do is better understanding what they are doing and what their needs, their wants, their aspirations, and their desires are, and understanding it to their satisfaction. Then and only then am I going to start talking about what I'm doing. That is fundamentally different than the approaches that most of us take. So I'm going to sit down with these people of influence and find out what they have on the go. I'll give you an example. I wanted to do a school for homeless kids. I wanted to open up a school for transitional families. I knew that it wasn't going to be received that I didn't think people were going to go for it. But we had a problem in the town that I was doing business in and where I was launching from, if you will. And so I sat down with the mayor. And here's what I said to the mayor. I didn't say, let me tell you about the homeless problem. Let me tell you about all these things that need to be done for the homeless families. Here's what I said. Mayor, what are the big initiatives you have going on in the next couple years under your tenure or during your tenure? What is your vision? And he started listing a bunch of them off. And then I said, well, what would make your time in office really fulfilling? And then he started listing off some economic things, but then he listed off a couple social ills. And one of them had to do with kids. That he wanted one of his legacies to be kids. And then I repeated back to him and I kind of tried to understand. And he said, yeah, you get what I want to do. And I said, well, that's kind of funny, Mayor Griffin. Because my wife and I and a bunch of us want to open up a school for kids who live in shelters and motels. And a 44-unit housing complex. So that we can stabilize their life and move them into tax-paying, responsible productiveness. It'll also include an adult education center and a recreation and youth center all in one. I'm with you. Why? Because we gained alignment. His dreams, his vision, his legacy, I could help become a reality. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. He cleared all of the application processes and building stuff. Funny, what can happen when one person of influence's attitude shifts towards what you want to do? The best way to make that happen is to listen to what they want to do first and what their dreams, hopes, aspirations, and desires are. And then try to show how there may be alignment between what they want to accomplish and what you're doing. Don't sell them. Listen to them. Listen to them. Now, there's a lot more that goes with this strategy, obviously, right? But this is step one. Wednesday and Friday, I'll give you some more. Step one, make a list of the people of influence. Step two, color code them. Step three, do I know them directly so I can have a chat with them? Or do I need to find somebody that I know that knows them to have that chat? When I have the chat, I'm listening 80, talking 20. Open-ended questions, hoping to gain alignment, showing them that what they already have on the go is in alignment with what we want to do. Agents of change know how to affect change, and they know how to do it in these changing times. Stay tuned on Wednesday for more information. See you later, everybody.